Hey, what's up guys, my name is David and welcome back to the channel and welcome to the first video of 2021. I am only 31 days late. January shaped up to be a more hectic month than I thought, so sorry I didn't have any videos for you, but I'm now on the grind, hopefully doing videos every week. I also returned my camera to purchase the Canon M50, which I am loving. Today we are doing the first edition of What I Watched This Month. This is a popular YouTube series courtesy of Carson Runquist where you go over all of the movies you watched in a given month. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like so I know that this is a series I should continue. Without further ado, let's get into what I watched in January. I started the New Year's off with one of my favorite coming-of-age movies, The Edge of 17. This movie, like most great coming-of-age movies, is very simple on its surface, but elevated by certain aspects. Haley Steinfeld is one of my favorite actresses working today and gives a genuine and heartfelt performance. Most movies or shows that are set during the present and are about young people end up feeling like this dude wrote them. Luckily, this is not one of them. This is a really fun and easy watch, and I could not recommend it enough. Next, I watched two biopics with the family, Steve Jobs and The Founder. Aaron Sorkin-written biopics are quite simply the best genre. The Founder is also really good, just not as sharp as Steve Jobs or of course The Social Network, but still really enjoyable. I was not expecting this film to be this fun. From the 20-minute mark onward, this film is a total blast. So if biopics quote-unquote aren't your thing, I definitely recommend this one because it is really, really fun. Feels Good Man is a documentary on Pepe the Frog. Yes, you heard me correctly. When I first heard about this doc, I was expecting to love it. Unfortunately, I can't say I did. I'm really into politics, and it seemed wacky, relevant, and interesting, and it did essentially end up being all of those things, but unfortunately, this one just didn't click with me. There's nothing wrong with the quality of this documentary, and I'm giving it a positive score, just personally, this one wasn't for me. Which is really weird because it totally should have been for me. And maybe it will be for you, especially if you are into politics and meme culture, so if that sounds interesting, definitely check it out. Just once again, this one didn't click with me as much as I wanted it to. I rewatched Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban because I don't think about Harry Potter enough, and that's a problem. And while watching this movie, I just had that moment of, yup, this world is pretty freaking fantastic. I don't know if it's my favorite out of the movies, but I do know that it is the best. Then I rewatched The Social Network for the fourth time in 37 days. I showed this to my friend and thankfully he liked it as well. Hot take, and this is a crazy one, this movie is pretty amazing. It is very hard for me to pick a favorite movie of all time, but The Social Network is definitely my favorite movie as of right now. I then checked out Palm Springs because there are a bunch of 2020 movies that I need to catch up on. This is a really well-made movie, but it feels kind of silly talking about the technicalities of Palm Springs because plain and simple, this movie is fun. It has some themes and messages it's trying to convey, but at its core, Palm Springs is just a blast. Then I checked out The Trial of the Chicago 7. The screenplay absolutely makes this film, the ending is very satisfying, performances all around the board are great, the editing is exciting, just all around this is a good film. However, I do agree with the common complaint levied at this film that it is very light. It's a really well-made movie, but to be honest, I haven't thought about it since I watched it. Then I watched There Will Be Blood. I blocked out some time for myself, sat myself down and told myself you're gonna watch this freaking movie. There Will Be Blood is an epic about an oil prospector who's probably a sociopath, and there's this crazy preacher, and I don't want to say too much because it's best to go into this movie blind, but oh my god, this is a monster of a film. Next, I finally watched Moonlight, and oh my god. The acting, the score, and most of all, the visuals are just out of this world. The way the colors and the camera movement tell a story by itself is what film is all about. I love movies where stuff just kind of happens. There is no real plot. You just see stuff occurring that is heartbreaking, heartwarming, and so masterfully created. That's why I love Lady Bird and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Now actually seeing this, it makes total sense that it won Best Picture. I honestly can't imagine anything else winning Best Picture. It is an emotional, sad, gut-wrenching, socially relevant movie. That's what the Academy likes. This is not to reduce it down to Oscar bait, it is so much more than that, but the Academy has a pattern. Now, do I think that this movie is better than La La Land? I'm honestly not sure. La La Land and Moonlight are both very good films, just in very different ways. They really shouldn't be compared against each other, but that mishap at the Oscars will forever connect the two. However, if I have to compare the two, I do think that La La Land is better just because it simply does more and is more technically impressive. But regardless, this film is something else and I'm so happy I finally saw it. Then I finally got around to watching Marriage Story. The acting is on point, the screenplay is sharp, and the emotional moments work so well. That being said, I have a few complaints with the film. The cinematography is lots of those stationary, bleak shots used in so many artsy dramas. It's not always like this though, and it's not to say that it's bad, it's just not really my thing and it kinda hurts my head. Later in the film, I really like how it's shot, and like all good camera work, it tells a story by itself. The dialogue at times can feel like it's trying too hard to be natural to the point where it starts to feel unnatural. But the actors do such a good job, I can forgive it. The pacing is definitely the biggest thing holding this film back for me. This movie could have easily had a nice 100-minute long runtime, but it really indulges itself sometimes. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm enjoying Adam Driver singing, but why? Overall, this is a technically phenomenal film, just one I have a few gripes with. And there you have it, that is what I watched in January. If you enjoyed this video, then you probably will enjoy this channel, so definitely consider subscribing. On here we talk about all things Star Wars and movies, along with community live streams every other week. As I mentioned in the beginning, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. I usually don't beg for likes, but I really want to know if this is a series I should continue. My letterbox will be in the description, so you can directly keep up with all the movies I'm watching. That is all I got for you today, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. May the Force be with you.